I want to tell on some of y'all, the same ones who are cheering for Jaden Ivey's game-winning 4-point play in Sacramento were the same ones clamoring for him to be traded just last week. I want to dive into that and some of y'all fickle fans right now. You lucky I'm a nice guy. You are lucky I am a nice guy because some of y'all, oh, I got receipts on. I got receipts on some of y'all. And I could tell, raise my hand right now, but I'm not a snitch. I'm not a snitch. I'm a nice guy. But I am going to come and tell you like it is. And I'm going to call some of y'all. I ain't going to say no names. But I'm going to tell it like it is. But before I do, let me take care of these bills. This video was brought to you by Bridges and Stone's Family and Relationship Care. You know, the holidays can be tough for a lot of us, whether it's distance from family, relationship issues, social isolation, or struggling to adapt to the weather of this season. Depression and loneliness can get to us all. This season doesn't have to be something to dread, though. It can also be your opportunity to learn coping skills and the steps you need to move into healthier relationships. Contact Bridges and Stones today for a free consultation with a professional coach to get the support that you need. Don't struggle alone. The link is in the description box below. Let me just keep it a band. Let me keep it 100. Some of y'all fickle fans, and I'm gonna be honest, it's probably some of the fans who are just kind of brand new coming to this thing, but then it's also some of y'all who should know better. And these are the ones that I'm really speaking to, the ones who should know better. The individuals who've been fans of the Detroit Pistons for a long time. Some of y'all claim to go back to the bad boy Pistons. Most of y'all, if you're honest, just got on around Rodney Stuckey and Andre Drummond and Charlie Villanueva and Greg Monroe, right? That's when and Ben Gordon. That's when some of y'all really came to this squad. Y'all don't remember Grant Hill. Y'all ain't ever rocked the feelers in middle school and high school, right? Y'all wasn't out there, seeing Grant Hill on Living Single playing the piano to Khadijah. You don't go back as far as you pretend to go back. Because some of y'all who really go back long enough to realize that it's all a part of the plan. Winning, losing, failing, getting it wrong is all a part of how this thing goes. No, you don't get to shoot straight to the top all the time. No, you don't get to have a contender every single season. You don't get to get it right in the draft. And even when you do, you aren't even guaranteed that the person you drafted that looks like the next superstar face of the league isn't going to have calamity strike and reality of life happens. Injuries. Things go wrong. People get hurt. People slip up. Something happens not according to plan. And some of y'all get so fickle, so in your feelings, so in the moment that you lose sight of the greater picture. That these are human beings. These are human beings who have lives, who train their whole life to get to this level, to play in the most talented league in the world. Your most hated player would be an MVP of almost 100% of all the other professional basketball leagues in the world. And you can't even get picked up in a 5-on-5 game at your local YMCA 24-hour fitness or hoop run. You who can't even make a consistent jump shot. You smoked a layup last weekend. Wide open. Felt foolish. But then you are harping on a guy who somehow can't cover Stephen Curry off of a pick and roll and dribble handoff and can't utilize drop coverage enough to then step up on Damian Lillard's pull-up jump shot and then somehow retract and make sure that Jalen Brown or Jason Tatum don't dunk on your head while Giannis is coming down the fast break and you actually catch a foul and you get in foul trouble and you are hating on that dude. You can't make a layup, bruh. Some of y'all need to slow down with the hate. The reality is, to win a championship, you're lucky as hell. A lot of things have to go right. And for a lot of other people, that means a lot of things had to go wrong. The Golden State Warriors' first championship, if you track that playoffs, they had major injuries against each and every opponent all the way to the title. Every single one. They beat LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers for their first championship in over 30 years. 30. And it was really because not only was Kevin Love out the entire series with a dislocated shoulder, thanks to Kelly Olynyk and the Boston Celtics, but Kyrie Irving cracked his kneecap in overtime of game 1. And even then, LeBron was pretty much the finals MVP. He blew everyone's stats out the water. He absolutely demolished and took y'all to 6. But you see, the real Warrior fans who are from the Bay Area, which is where I'm hailing from, we fell in love with this team a long time ago. We was in love with Jason Richardson and Larry Hughes and Gilbert Arenas and Anton Jameson and Donald Foyle. We was in love with the squad even when they got Baron Davis and Steven Jackson and Al Harrington and was able to knock off the number 1 seed Dallas Mavericks and the We Believe Golden State Warriors. We rock with them when they got Brandon Wright and when they started trading off all the guys and tried to bring in something new. And eventually Monte Ellis was the only one from the old regime that we all rocked with. And then the new ownership came in, got rid of him for Andrew Bogut. And then Stephen Curry, who nobody thought was going to be great, who pretty much kept rolling his ankle when he walked out of bed. He gets extended and we don't know why he got extended. And somehow, okay, Mark Jackson comes, they start playing defense. Okay, we still rocking with you. And then all of a sudden you have this magical playoff run and all of a sudden they look good, but then they fire Mark. And we got hella mad when they fired Mark. We're like, what's going on? And all of a sudden, then they jump into the next season with Steve Kerr and they walk straight into a championship. Oh, snap. We got a dynasty. How did that happen? A whole lot of luck. And some of y'all Detroit Pistons fans are jumping off the bandwagon when Jaden Ivey's dealing with knee pain for a week and sits out for a few games. You forgot he just hit a game winner right beforehand, 3 weeks prior. Led the Detroit Pistons to a victory against the Toronto Raptors without Cade Cunningham, without your all-star, and hits the game winner. A week and a half later, you're already off on him. Trade him for Zach LaVine and his knees. You want older knees for younger knees. Okay. 28-year-old already tore the ACL. Multiple surgeries on the knees. No, you want those knees because he's having a good year in the year that he wants to get traded and prove everyone that he's still worth his enormous contract. While the guy that's on his rookie deal and hitting game winners with 22-year-old knees, that's who you want to give up on. Some of y'all, I got to call your receipts on this. I got to call you out because it's real suspect. It's real suspect. Real suspect. I'm looking at you sideways. You're telling me the guy that was considered to potentially be a number 1 pick candidate with Paolo Banchero, Chet Holmgren, those guys, and Jaden Ivey, Benedict Mathurin. That draft was deep. It's crazy. And somehow you want to trade him because he's dealing with some knee pain, going through growing pains, figuring out how to win in the NBA. Some of y'all forget. But I'm calling on y'all elders. I am calling on y'all elders, those fans who are over the age of 50, who can remember Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, Bill Laimbeer, Dennis Rodman, John Sally, the microwave. Remembering that squad and those championships against Larry Bird, knocking off Bird in his height. Knocking off Magic Johnson in the height with Kareem. With only one superstar that still doesn't get the respect he deserves. Should be top 10 all time for what he did in his day. And then you remember when he got hurt. And he didn't come back from that injury. And the dynasty you thought you were forming disappeared. And the road that it's been since then. I'm calling on y'all to remind these young cats. Get in the comment section. I don't care if you got to type one finger at a time. I don't care if you gotta do the audio and just have AI write it out for you while you just talk it. You remind some of these fickle, young, brand new microwave generation, these young whippersnappers who don't know nothing. You remind them Hey, young blood, you gotta enjoy the ride. You gotta enjoy the ride. This don't happen overnight. Good gumbo don't cook quick. You gotta let that thing brew. You gotta let that roux simmer. You gotta get all the flavor out of it. And over time, when it's just right, it'll be just right. You gotta take your time with this squad. They're young. You just barely put all the fixing into the roux. Finally got your peppers in there, and you got your shrimp, and you got your sausage, and you got all the fixings and stuff that you like. I don't make gumbo. I just like to cook. I make curries and stuff like that, and soups, and I make a lot of Caribbean food and Jamaican food. But when I make my food, you gotta let that thing cook. I tell my daughter, keep your hand out the pot. It'll be ready when it's ready. Some of y'all need to keep your hand out the pot. Trying to stick your hand in there, taste it every 5 seconds, letting all the heat out. Let this team cook. Let JB Bickerstaff cook. Let Jalen Duren cook. Shoot, Jalen Duren is just the piece of meat that takes longest to cook. That's all he is. Just because Cade Cunningham get delicious right off the top, as soon as you put the sausage in there and it's just all of a sudden it's just plump and it's flavoring, you see all the juices coming out of it. Okay, cool. That don't mean everything else is done. I don't mean Jaden Ivey done. Ron Holland, Asar Thompson, Jalen Duren, Bobby Clinton, Marcus Sasser. Don't mean the rest of them are done. Let them cook. Give them a couple seasons, man. Quit jumping off every single time they lose a game or two. Yeah, they're going to look bad from time to time. Shoot, the veterans look bad from time to time. Let this thing cook. I think you'll enjoy it in the end. But as always, I want to know what you all think. Get at me in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I'm going to get at y'all next time. Peace.